This is the Amazfit T-Rex Ultra 2. I had about a week to play around with this watch. This is their top tier, top of the line watch. It costs $549 and it's meant to compete with the $1,300 Phoenix 8 Pro, the $900 Apple Watch Ultra 3, yet it is much cheaper than all the competitors out there. So today, I'm going to share all the things that I like about it, what I've had in terms of the experience so far, and is this watch actually worth the money to get over a Garmin, Apple Watch, or HYROX watch? So let's get into it. Now, first off, this watch is massive. It is a grade 5 titanium bezel and case. It's got a massive AMOLED screen. It's kind of supposed to be competitive with the Phoenix 8 Pro. You can see the size comparison right there. It feels bigger and heavier. I don't know what the casing is, but very similar. You see the heart rate monitors there. The charging pad is a magnetic and wireless, whereas the Garmin, you kind of plug into it. In terms of the bands, they are actually interchangeable. They're very similar. You can just pull this off, and I can actually put the Garmin band on the Amazfit and vice versa. They don't fit perfectly, but they do actually swap out together, which is really nice. So that's good to know. The screens, both beautiful, colorful. I think the responsiveness is where it's slightly different. They're both not the greatest. I think the Apple Watch is the best when it comes to responsiveness of the screen. Look at that. Phoenix 8 Pro has been super laggy. But you can see how they feel, they look in terms of the color, the overall experience when you swipe through. They have all the similar buttons. You got 2 buttons on the right, 2 buttons on the left. The Garmin has 3 buttons on the left, I should say. But the biggest change with the new T-Rex Ultra 2 is that they added a flashlight. So you press and hold this button right here. Now you have this flashlight. You can swap through the different brightness levels. They have a green color now, which is really nice. This is one of my favorite features of the Garmin. You just double click and you have, this is their highest brightness right here. And then you can double click, go full brightness. You can go all the way down to red and then back up to their full maximum brightness. So that's one of the value adds that the Apple Watch Ultra does not have that. It looks like the brightness level of the Phoenix 8 Pro is a bit brighter than the Ultra 2, so that's good to know. Just like the Phoenix 8s, they're adding a speaker and microphone into this watch as well, so you can actually take voice notes on the T-Rex Ultra 2 during your workouts. You can do phone calls, use the Zepp Assistant. What was my biggest workout of the week? So there we go, we got a little weekly report. I think I'd just try to talk too quickly. And as with all the Garmin and Amazfit and any third-party watch, it seems to disconnect from my phone from time to time.
Are you referring to a workout or another feature?
I think voice assistants, even, that's SIRI word on the Apple devices, doesn't work that great either. I've just turned to, I don't use assistants. I have a rule. If it's not Chat or Claude, I'm probably not going to talk to it. Or Whisperflow, which I really like. It's cool. I think all these companies are adding the similar features, but it's just none of these things in reality actually work or make it convenient. It's just easier to use hard buttons, which I love. Keep the hardware buttons to just maneuver, select what you need, start, stop. No one seems to be able to get voice assistants to work the way that we need them to yet. Hello? Can you hear me? How's the audio?
Audio is good.
It's good? You can hear me pretty well?
Well, what is this?
I'm calling from a watch.
Oh, wow. That sounds really good from a watch.
Does it actually, or are you just saying that?
No, there's no static. There's no connection cut off.
Okay, that's cool.
Where are the bells?
Okay, all right.
What kind of watch is this?
This is the Amazfit T-Rex Ultra 2. Okay, that's good to hear. Anything else?
It's all your PRs, like stuff, shampoos and stuff, send them to me.
Okay, will do.
Bye.
Bye. That's what the speakerphone and the calling on the device actually looks like. For some reason, it's not syncing my contacts, but I was able to manually dial. This is a pre-release, pre-launch device, so just keep that in mind. Now, the next massive update is they now added navigation and offline maps, which has been saved to the watch. One thing I did notice is when you load up the map, you do have to wait for it to connect to GPS and figure out where you are. And then when it comes to navigating places, just like with the Garmin's, this is a process. It's extensive. This is not something that I would go through to do. Let's go explore nearby. I can be able to find places, and I can do that, but it's not an experience that I would love using. Like, there's the map. I can zoom in and out, and it'll load and update. And I tried it. I was able to get turn-by-turn directions as I was going to a coffee shop. Even doing this on my Apple Watch Ultra 3, which natively integrates with my iPhone, and the maps will sync. That's not perfect to do on the watch. I prefer to start it on my phone and then have just the watch display the directions. So having to do navigations on the Garmin or an Amazfit watch, the experience is not ideal. It is cool, and it is awesome that you can do that. And if something that you need, I think specifically for a run, if I want to do a specific run workout and I need directions, that's where it becomes valuable. But outside of that, I'm not going to use the watch to navigate somewhere because the complexity level is just so high that I'd rather just pull up maps on my phone, start it on my phone, If it shows on my watch, great. If it doesn't, I'm just going to use the phone to navigate because the friction is so much easier. Also on the watch, you have smarter route management. You can do checkpoint display and reminder alerts. So if you have water sources, shelters, altitude targets, turnaround points, you can have it notify you on the watch. There's great adjusted pace that can show up, voice memos during workouts, the built-in speaker and microphone, which we showed you, and it all integrates within the Zepp app. So I've been wearing this for the past week. I can kind of show you the results and data that I've gotten on the app in comparison to other devices. So this is the Whoop 5.0 on the right side, and then the Amazfit T-Rex Ultra 2 on the left side. Very long name there. I wish they would simplify it. But you can see we've got recovery, which they would say biocharge, 7151. Strain, I did not wear it during my workouts today, so those are all obviously going to be off. But sleep, 8689. We can even scroll down to go look at the actual sleep data. We got 9,445 steps, 12,000 steps. I didn't wear the watch the entire day today, so just keep that in mind. It's got my body weight, readiness, the trends over time. If I tap into sleep and sleep, it's giving me 8 hours, 14 minutes on the Amazfit, 7 hour 42 on the Whoop. Our REM sleep was 2 hours 37 versus 1 hour 55. So slight difference there. I can tell you one thing, I'm wearing 2 Whoops right now, and the sleep data is off on both of them. They're slightly different. That video is coming out soon, so subscribe if you want to see that. So no wearable is perfect. Just keep that in mind. Now we got sleep trends. You can see sleep duration, sleep regularity. I think this is really big. Having these data points easier to access in the app, I think would be extremely valuable. You can see how the trends are relatively similar. Sleeping heart rate, hypoapnea, respiratory rate, and then weekly trends. I can see that information as well. Now inside of exertion, we see all the workouts that I've done, the intensity levels, my fatigue level throughout the week, my training status. We've got the biocharge, which is the daily variable, and you can see how it's kind of decreasing. This is similar to the data point that Garmin also has. I honestly don't use that feature very often. We see my HRV and my resting heart rate as well over the past week. You can see my VO2 max is a 50, a good right now. Whereas on the Whoop, it's giving me a 42. I honestly think I'm closer to a 50, most likely. There's a lot of food logging that you can do inside the Zepp app, which is very interesting. If you haven't tried that yet, they've got a lot of cool tech that's coming out very soon. But overall, it seems like the data is good enough. I did do some outdoor runs, and we'll dive deeper into that, but it's getting the basics down. I think there's a lot of fancy data points and features that companies are adding nowadays. These are absolutely not necessary for most people. The basics are going to get exactly what you need. And most watches from like 1, maybe 2 years ago provide all that stuff. All this stuff is now just getting fancier. If you want the latest and greatest, you want a better battery life. This is a 30-day battery life, which is huge. Competes with the Phoenix level watches. I think that's a big win, getting a long battery life. And then a brighter screen, better screen, more colorful screen. These are things that add value. I think a lot of these data points, in my personal opinion, don't add as much value. Now, one thing I would love to see Amazfit, Zepp, is Runna integration. I don't know if that's a Runna thing, but I'm using Runna to train for the Tokyo Marathon. I'm running in about a week and a half. There's no way to import my workouts from Runna into my Amazfit watch. I would love to see that. Now here you can see I did the outdoor run, 15 miles. It seemed to be very on par with my Apple Watch and my Garmin watch. So let's dive deeper into that data because we want to know how accurate is this watch actually, and is it worth the money? Now for half the price, can it output the same amount of data and information as the Garmin Phoenix watches? So here I wore the Amazfit with the Apple Watch Ultra 3, and we can take a peek at the heart rate. Relatively, almost exactly the same the entire time. If we look at average heart rate right here, we got 135 on the Ultra and 133 on the Amazfit. That's close enough. Next, this was about a 6-mile run outdoors. For the most part, all 3 watches, I was wearing the Apple Watch Ultra 3, the Garmin Forerunner 970, and the Amazfit T-Rex Ultra. Pretty much the same. If we want to get nitpicky, there was one point right here where it looks like the T-Rex jumped out of the group of 3, but overall all these watches match up. Maybe at the beginning as I'm warming up they were slightly off. Elevation, the trends almost exactly the same. Here's where it gets interesting. We look at the GPS maps. So you can see I started my watch kind of in the middle of Manhattan. We started to run outside. This one right here, which popped out, is the Forerunner 970. I don't know what happened here. I decided to go swimming. This is the part where it does get tricky. Right here on FDR, this road, I'm running under a bridge, so the GPS signals do get messed up. You can see how clean it is, even just running inside of Manhattan. As soon as I get to this part, all of them get a little jumbled up, but the Forerunner seemed to have lost its place. Ran up here, saw Casey around this area, so we did a couple circles around him. And then for the most part, everything else looks perfect. Now let's try one more. I did a 15-mile run. This one much longer, all 3 watches. Around the halfway point here where it dropped suddenly, I took a quick break and actually took off my jacket, so my arms actually got colder. It was below freezing outside, so the heart rate data is going to be much worse. We can see if we zoom in here, the Amazfit kind of left the Garmin Forerunner and the Apple Watch. It could just be my wrist was extremely cold at this point, and it's harder to capture heart rate data using optical sensors, which is light, in cold temperatures, especially when it's below freezing. In the first part of the run, I had a sleeve over the watches, so I kept it warm. But you can see there's some peaks here. What is this? The 400 970 seem to have hopped up randomly for no reason. And then we go over here. It looks like at the end, the 400 970 left the group. But overall, everyone seemed to be close together. It's just this second part here where I think all the watches started to get a bit confused. Now, how accurate was the GPS data? We can look at the map here. Look at that, spot on. They are all just on top of each other. Maybe in this segment right here. This guy kind of like disconnected from everyone. Who is that? Garmin 400 970. What's up with the 400 970? He just doesn't want to be friends with everyone. Overall, looks good. Everyone just stacked on top of each other. Super clean. West Side Highway in New York on Manhattan. Looks super clean. Look at that. Just clean, clean, clean. We're going up. Now, if we look at the overall summary data, 161 heart rate on the Ultra T-Rex, 161 on the Garmin 400 970, but 156 in the Ultra 3. So a little heart rate difference right there. So although the GPS tracks might have been a bit off, the overall distance was the same that you see at the end of the workout. Now, from a heart rate GPS perspective, this watch is heavy. When you do have a heavier watch, it does move around more, and thus it increases the probability of the heart rate being less accurate. So that's one of the downsides of having a T-Rex, an Ultra 3, or even the Phoenix 8. That's where I do prefer kind of smaller watches because you can get more accurate data with the same sensor, just less weight for it to move around. But it seems like this watch is doing amazing. I approve. If you want to get this watch, you want to save some money, but have a top tier watch that lasts 30 days, you get pretty much most of the top tier features at a drastically cheaper cost than a typical Garmin. This is a better alternative, in my opinion. If you want more of the smartwatch features, that's where Apple Watch becomes a big competitor. Let me know what questions you have. I can make a more in-depth comparison with any of the other watches I have because I love testing all this stuff. Subscribe. Follow me on the main channel if you want to see my Tokyo Marathon coming out in 2 weeks. My name is Shervin. Follow me on Instagram. We'll see you in the next one. Link for this watch is down below. Peace.